Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace and I own a permanent jewelry business in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And in today's video, I am going to tell you how I started my permanent jewelry business. I'm going to give you a step-by-step list of things that I did in order to get my business to where it is today. Okay, y'all, I like to jump right into it, so we're going to go ahead. The first thing that I did was I did a lot of research. So when I first heard about permanent jewelry, I really didn't know much about it. So I wanted to explore permanent jewelry, see what it was. So I watched a lot of videos on the technique and what all it entailed. And I just wanted to make sure that it was something that I wanted to do. So I figured out, what permanent jewelry was and really looked into it to make sure it was something that I wanted to do. I also researched my local market. I wanted to see if there were people around me that were doing it and, what their businesses look like. And I just wanted to know, when it came to my area, were there a lot of people doing permanent jewelry? Something else that I researched, which was very important, was the potential income that was possible from having a permanent jewelry business. I knew that this was something that I wanted to do full time, so I wanted to make sure that the income would match that and I would be able to go into this full time. So really looking at the numbers and seeing if it was possible for me to do this full time. The last thing that I researched were startup costs. Okay, with any business that you start, there are gonna be startup costs. Some businesses you can start for a really low amount. Other businesses take a lot of money to start. I wanted to know how much on average it would take me to start my permanent jewelry business. And once I figured that out and prayed about it and thought long and hard about it, I decided that doing permanent jewelry was what I wanted to do and that I was ready to make the investment and I was ready to go all in. So that was the very first thing that I did when it came to starting my permanent jewelry business. I did research on a lot of different things just to make sure it was the right fit for me. Once I decided that I was going all in with permanent jewelry, the second thing that I did was I came up with my business name. Now, in doing this made it real to me. It made it to where I knew that I was going all in and that I was actually gonna do this thing. So I think one of my favorite parts about starting businesses and building businesses is coming up with the business name. Now, the name of my business today is not the name that my business was when I first started it. Initially, when I started my business, I had the word Link, spelled L-I-N-X, in my business name. And although it was a super cute name, I knew long term I didn't want the word Link in my business name. So about 6 months into my business, I did change my business name to what it is today. But to start, I went ahead and came up with a business name as the second thing that I did when I started my permanent jewelry business. All right, the third thing that I did was I established my business as an LLC. Now, this is something that you can do. You can either establish your business as an LLC or you can do a sole proprietorship. You just have to figure out what is the best route for you. But for me, I decided to go with an LLC for my business entity. After I established my LLC, I then went and got my reseller's permit. Once I got my reseller's permit, I got my EIN number. After I got my EIN number, I set up my business bank account. And after I set up my business bank account, I started to apply for wholesale accounts with different jewelry vendors. Okay, so the next thing that I did, this will be step 4, is once I set up my business entity, my bank accounts, my wholesale accounts, all of that, the next thing I did is I went ahead and I purchased my welder, which is right here. I purchased my welder and I purchased my very first permanent jewelry course. Now, I invested in 2 permanent jewelry courses. It's something that I felt like I wanted to do in my business because I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what I was doing when it came to welding and closing the jump rings and just everything that went along with permanent jewelry. I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. So I did invest in 2 courses, but the fourth thing that I did was I just invested in 1 course. And then I bought my welder. Once I got my welder and I got access to the first online course that I took, I started to just kind of go over everything and review the course. And the course that I purchased, it did come with a starter kit. So once that starter kit came in, there were like jump rings in there. There were a few chains. Just, you know, there were some pliers in there. Basically, it had everything I needed in order to start practicing permanent jewelry. So once the starter kit came in, I started working with my welder and practicing with opening, closing the jump rings and welding. So that was the fourth thing that I did. And the final thing that I did was I went ahead and I made the full investment into buying everything that I needed, all of my supplies. So chains, connectors. Well, I didn't start with connectors. I started with just chains first, but I bought my chains. I bought my pliers, my cutters, different things for me to store all of my chains in. Like everything that I use for permanent jewelry, I went ahead and made that investment into buying all of the supplies. My argon, which is over there in the corner. I purchased my argon tank, like everything that I needed in order to do permanent jewelry. That was the last step that I took, was I invested a lot of money into buying everything that I needed. Those are the first few steps that I took to start my permanent jewelry business. And these are the things that really got my business off to a good start. Starting your permanent jewelry business, it can be a little hard to navigate in the beginning, but as long as you just do your research and read a lot of things, to see which route is going to be best for you, you'll be able to figure it out. All right, so that is it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment section below. As I was making this video and just kind of writing my notes for the video, I realized that there are a lot of things that I did kind of in between the steps that I listed that also helped me to get to where I am today. But they weren't the main things that I did. The things that I listed in today's video were like some of the most important things that you want to do. But I really do want to be able to provide a resource for you if you are starting your permanent jewelry business that literally lists out everything that I did in order to get my business to where it is today. So that is something that I am thinking about working on. If it is something you think you would be interested in, please let me know in the comment section below. It would be a guide or just something to help you know exactly step by step everything that you need to do in order to lay the perfect foundation to have a very successful permanent jewelry business. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any video requests, also leave that down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.